Hey everybody, welcome to Hat Hole Home Video. Today I wanted to talk to you about a little movie called Thanksgiving 2023, starring Eli Roth. Directed and co-written by Eli Roth. This movie is poorly written, speaking of the writing. It is poorly acted. I found most of the actors to be completely devoid of charm or charisma. It is weirdly badly edited. I thought the kills were a lot of fun, but then each of the kills consistently would peter out like one beat before we moved on to the next scene. It was like every single kill scene would fart right at the end and then move on. Really was killing the mood, I'm not gonna lie. For all these faults, this movie is a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. I was laughing consistently. The gore is very fun and creative. Things that you haven't seen in a movie that's in theaters in a long time. And also, I do think the Thanksgiving needs to be commended for being a $10 million movie. It looks like it's already made its money back. I saw things online saying that this would have to make like $40 million to turn a profit. That doesn't make any sense to me. I get, the general rule of thumb out there is you double the budget of a movie to account for marketing, and that's kind of where it has to get to start being a profitable movie to like get out of the red. I just refuse to believe if the numbers being thrown around, unsubstantiated numbers on random clickbaity websites are to be believed, which that sounds like a really reliable source, but it just blows my mind to think that they spent $10 million on the movie, but then spent $20 to $30 million on advertising. That doesn't make any sense to me. So my gut says this movie's already basically in the black. Hopefully after the Thanksgiving weekend now, it will be definitively in the black. I hope word of mouth is spreading about this. And that's kind of what this video is about too. Again, not a perfect movie, not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. Even in its sort of subgenre of slasher movies, this movie, it reminds me a lot of My Bloody Valentine. It reminds me, there's certainly comparisons to Scream. There's comparisons to the Final Destination movies. I'm not saying that I wouldn't hold this movie above any of those. I don't think it's better. I don't think, I don't think it's going to go down in history as one of these great slasher movies, but man, is it fun. And man, is it the kind of movie that I want to go see in a movie theater, and I want more of this. So I am going to try to go see it as many times as I can before it leaves theaters. I would encourage everybody that has any kind of, I don't believe in supporting a movie to support the industry. I think that's kind of a weird thing to do. But if this is a movie that you have any interest in, if you're a horror fan, if there's a piece of you that wanted to go see the movie, I would say go see the movie, spend the money, show the system that this is the kind of movie that you would go see. That's as political as I get. But I do want to, I kind of dumped on the movie. I pointed out a lot of its flaws at the beginning. But I do want to say there's a lot to like. Again, fun, creative kills. I do like the John Carver, masked killer. I think that potentially could become a C-class iconic slasher character. Certainly no Freddy, no Jason, no Ghostface, but I could see it becoming a known. I'll admit, when I got home, I went on Amazon to see if they sold those John Carver masks. They don't, as of recording. But then you got Patrick Dempsey, who's kind of for people my age, I guess, the biggest star. There's some I guess, monstrously huge TikTok stars in this movie, or like young people stars that I have no clue who they are. Apparently they're a big deal though. But I liked Patrick Dempsey. He's a guy that just like looks like he should be in that sheriff's uniform, that like, I don't know, you know, that cold weather kind of puffier sheriff's coat. He's just a guy that's made, like, he just looks born to wear that, you know what I mean? And then the main girl, I should have, why would I prepare to make a video that's going to go out on the internet and be seen by everybody? Is her last name or
Nell Verlake?
I'm going to feel real stupid. But the main woman, the main protagonist, Jessica, I think is her name in the movie. I liked her. I thought, again, not all her dialogue is great as written, but I at least found her to be a charming, charismatic, talented actress. So, for all the terrible people that Eli Roth put in this movie, at least he recognized she's the best, she's the star. So I liked her a lot. I will say too, that Massachusetts, that trashy Massachusetts accent is endlessly fun to listen to. It reminds me of Australian. There's something about, and I guess it's not just the accent, it is the regional culture. They have big personalities. I mean, and obviously there's like the stereotypes, and then there's the broad spectrum of actual personalities and people, but I do believe that it is a region of the country that is you're just predisposed to just having a bigger personality. And I will say, walking out of this movie, it's like, it was nonstop. The Boston accents coming out of like a group of lifelong Minnesotans. Everything was Boston and Massachusetts, and go fuck yourself, pal. It was nonstop. It is really fun to listen to. Elevates the movie probably a notch above what it would be without that. It's funny how that works, but and I will say too, for Massachusetts peeps, this has to be required viewing for all of you. Anytime something's like very regional specific, I know I'm from Minnesota, I'm from the Twin Cities, so any movie, we know when a movie gets filmed here, even if it doesn't take place necessarily here, because I'm thinking of, you got Mighty Ducks, you've got Grumpy Old Men. Those are like very Minnesota-centric movies filmed here, but also like the movie itself is very focused on taking place here. Fargo is another good one, even though Fargo is not in Minnesota. A lot of that movie takes place in and around the Twin Cities, and then Brainerd. But there's something about when movies are filmed in a place you are very familiar with, you become obsessed with like the geographic location of where this scene was to where this scene was. It's like in Jingle All the Way. It's like, how did they get to Mickey's Diner if they were coming from over here? Doesn't make any sense. There's things like that you become like bogged down in. And I work with, my boss lived in Massachusetts for 20 years, something like that. And she said that this movie is lots of real locations, and then it's it makes sense geographically. I think the high school rivalries, and when there's tons of sort of in-jokes of referencing places nearby and different. So apparently if you're from Massachusetts, you enjoy this movie on a whole nother level, because it's just constant references basically that only you will get, and I think that is super cool. Even if I'm left out, I still think it's cool that you have that. But yeah, again, flaws. So many flaws. But sometimes what makes something great is not that it is this perfect, polished thing. It's that the flaws have given it a character all its own. And that makes it fun and special and unique. And that's what this is. It's a good time. It's just a good time. That's all I have to say about it. I will stop rambling now, but let me know what you thought if you saw it. I would highly recommend, most of us, not me because I work retail. That's another thing about this movie. It starts with a Black Friday scene that is all too familiar to me as a retail worker for the last 20 years. So there is that extra added bit of like, ooh, that primal spot in my chest tightens up in that opening scene because I have seen it for real. I've lived it. I've walked through the blood and the bones. But yeah, let me know. I highly recommend, if you've got nothing to do for this holiday weekend, go see Thanksgiving. It was a lot of fun. Support movies like this. I do, as much as it's weird to say things like that. The movie business is so corporate and homogenous, and it is the opposite of a dream factory. It is just this sludge factory that if we just keep eating the slop, they just keep giving us slop. Let's ask these studios, could you put a little salt in the slop? Could we maybe every once in a while get a piece of chocolate mixed in with, in between rounds of slop? That's all I'm asking. So yeah, in any case, thank you everybody for watching. Have a good holiday, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.